Harley Sawyer has been watching us this entire time. If you didn't already know, this man or thing is Harley Sawyer, a scientist responsible for the monstrous creations that we see throughout Playtime Co. And in the trailer, we see that he's literally like the monkey from Toy Story 3. This man's got eyes throughout the entire factory. And although the trailer shows that he's waking up or like being activated with the server rooms booting up and even his eye turning on, I still found a piece of evidence that in my opinion proves that he's been watching us since the very beginning of chapter 1 until now. And not only that, but he's been manipulating us and guiding our steps according to his plans. So as we approach the release of chapter 4, Mob Entertainment has been making story so far videos, which seems like a way to bring the fans back up to speed so that more people will play chapter 4. But it also gave us one of the biggest pieces of lore for the entire game. At the end of the story so far video for chapter 3, we see the ending bit where we're going down to the deeper parts of the factory. And this is when the camera zooms out to show that this was actually being watched on a monitor by the narrator, because the narrator's voice changes from a voiceover to an actual person who's there. And this person is none other than Harley Sawyer. And after the hatch is about to shut, Harley says, which brings us to now, doesn't it? Down they come, like lambs to the slaughter.
Which brings us to now, doesn't it? Down they come, like lambs to the slaughter.
This line blew my mind at how much it tells us. Him saying, doesn't it, makes me feel as if he knew this was going to happen, as if he's expecting it. Which leads me to believe maybe Harley is stuck down there and he used his control over the factory to guide us to free him out of the basement area. Which might even explain why he's booting up in the trailer, because he's getting ready now that we're going down there. And not just that, when he says down they come, this proves that whoever the narrator is in the game, and us going down to the bottom of the factory is where he is. Otherwise, he would have said down they go, and even if he said that, I'd still be a bit suspicious. But then, when he says like lambs to the slaughter, pointing out that we, the player, are like an unaware lamb being led down to him as if he planned it all, that makes me think that he is going to try to kill us. Now that we've done so much in all the first 3 chapters and we're going down to see him, he's ready to kill us and he thinks it's going to be easy. But since the main character always has plot armor, he has no idea how mistaken he is. And so, if Harley has been watching us, when did he start watching us? Did he know we were in the factory like the second we walked in? Or did he only later realize that we were here once we started causing a disturbance, you know, with the deaths of Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, or even Catnap at the end of chapter 3? Well, it seems to me that Harley knew we were here from the very beginning. Considering the fact that we've seen his eye in different spots, his consciousness might even be uploaded to some sort of network. And so, he could have instantly known we were here, possibly even when we were outside of the building where he could use the security cameras to look at us. Which makes me think, how much of our gameplay has been controlled by him? Did he want us to kill Huggy Wuggy? Could he be even controlling the prototype, or is he the one being controlled? Well, the first thing I thought about was at the beginning of chapter 1, when we're trying to make our way into the factory and scan our hand, the electricity short circuits, leading us to the electricity room to solve a pretty basic puzzle, which gave an opportunity for Huggy to escape, and we can't see him standing in his iconic waving pose anymore. And this could be just the fact that the factory is old and the power short-circuited, so Huggy took the opportunity. But in chapter 3, when we go to the gas production zone and our goal is to move the gas from the right to the left, when it gets to the middle, the power shuts off and the room goes dark. And why I think that this was Sawyer is because all he tells us that someone shut off the power.
Oh no! Someone killed the power. Okay, I sent you another key. It's under the statue.
And considering all he doesn't even give us a hint as to who it is, it also makes me raise an eyebrow at him for being so vague about it, almost as if he's trying to hide who it really was. And what pretty much seals the deal for me is that in the story so far video for chapter 1, when Harley talks about Huggy Wuggy, he says that Huggy performed exactly as he was designed, which is referring to the security tape that plays at the beginning of the game, where Laith Pierre warns the player about the factory's other security measures. But this next next bit, I hope this gives you chills. Have you ever noticed that each chapter has its own set of monsters and then the next chapter's monsters don't really exist until that chapter comes out? So for example, in chapter 1, Catnap, he's nowhere to be found. But in chapter 3, he's everywhere. What if Harley is releasing the monsters bit by bit and making them do whatever he tells them to do? Which leads me to this. In the chapter 2 story so far video, Harley is talking about the games we had to play because, Mommy Longlegs pretty much forced us to. And he says, first stop was musical memory, a cognitive test. Simple, but a useful metric for us.
First stop was musical memory. A cognitive test. Simple, but a useful metric for us.
So he's literally measuring us up, trying to see how good our reaction times are, how much we can memorize, trying to compare our mind to something. But then again, why would he be controlling the monsters if, we just kill them over and over again with each chapter? Well, that's what leads me to the mind-blowing part of this theory. In the restricted restoration video, we see a video most likely for work, where the scientist is talking about a man named Thomas Clark. He was an employee of Playtime Co. who was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. And so he apparently consented to be part of the dark experiments of putting humans into toys' bodies. Which, all of the toys we see in the games, this is exactly what happened to them. Toys like Huggy Wuggy, Kissy Missy, and even Catnap are all humans that were forced into the body of a toy. But the one difference between Thomas and the rest of them is that they were orphans, manipulated and lied to by the employees of Playtime Co. And so, when Thomas was with the other toys, they noticed something was different about him, and in my theory, it's probably the fact that he's not a child and was an ex-employee of Playtime Co., which led them to trying to kill him and even eating his organs. And the aftermath of this was crazy because he barely survived and he had to be separated from all the others in what seems to be solitary confinement. And I'm 100% certain that Thomas didn't do anything nearly as bad to the orphans as Harley Sawyer, the founder of the whole project, did to them. Which is why Harley could be purposefully manipulating us and letting the monsters escape by controlling doors or certain things in the factory to get us to kill each other. Probably hoping that we'll kill all of his experiments for him so that he can find some way to get out of the basement and escape. Because I can't see him beating Huggy Wuggy in a fight and living. The only thing that Harley has going for him is probably his supreme intelligence allowing him to get us to do his dirty work for him. And now that we're coming all the way down to the factory to him, he might just kill us because we've done everything he's needed and he has no more use for us. And the sad part is, we're going right into his trap.